Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome to our world of darkness. It has been a while since I've been able to sit down and actually do like a just talk style video. There's a lot to go over here. I want to talk to you guys about Darkness Emergent Los Angeles and my entire experience with that, because it was ridiculous on so many levels. First off, getting there. I drove. I live in Southwest Florida, my guys. I drove to Los Angeles, California. Now, I will say that the first half of the ride was completely. I was not alone, I should say, because I was with I was with Daviga, who's one of my players, and also family to me. So I was taking him and dropping him off at family so that they could visit while I was gone, and the idea was for me to drive back and pick him up on the way there. So I'm going to go ahead and skip the first half of the journey just because that was just our time together, hanging out in the car, listening to music, talking about various things, including game and stuff like that, and we just had a blast the entire trip. I really do appreciate the one-on-one time I get with people in the car sometimes, but I also very much appreciate the time I get alone because I don't know why, but while I'm driving and listening to music and stuff, that's tends to be when I that tends to be when I have the most inspiration and I'm able to write plot lines and work on things like that. So I very, very much like my solitude. Um, my hair is just not feeling it today. Um, so I drop off to Abiga and I keep driving and I start seeing the country, the beautiful wide open country. I cut through Arizona, I cut through New Mexico, I cut through Oklahoma, I saw a tornado. I actually stopped. I stopped to get gas on the way, and I walk in. The sun is out, sky is blue. It's beautiful. I walk in, I grab some stuff, I walk out. It is jet black. It is so dark. It's like, and it was like noon. So I'm just like, what is happening? And I start realizing that people are like, we have a shelter, come down. And I'm like, oh God. Like, the option was basically I needed to leave right now, or I needed to just accept the fact that I might lose my car and get in the shelter and stuff. I chose to leave. I chose to get going. I was told that the tornado was 7 miles away, so there was plenty of time to actually go if I was heading west, at least. And luckily, I was headed west. On the way out, however, a little while after I left, I turned to the right out the window and I can see it. It's 7 miles away and I can see it. It is huge. It was massive. So I just drove. There was some pretty hellacious winds and rain and stuff that I got to see. But other than that, I was just out of there. Now, on the way, I was cutting through New Mexico and kind of had this interesting moment where good and bad collides. I think I needed gas or something, and I was driving through New Mexico, and I I typically only stop at a couple of different places as far as gas and food and stuff like that goes. Now, I'll look for side of the road, one of a kind places when it comes to food, but as far as gas goes, I stick to the things that I know and I trust. But I did not see anything like that. I still needed gas. I pulled off, and as I was pulling down the off ramp, I see the Route 66 pit stop, the original. And that has actually been a place that I've always wanted to go to. That was it's just a gas station, but it's also a burger stand. And I got a Laguna burger, which is what they are famous for, which is basically just a cheeseburger with green chilies on it. Like it's just a staple. But this is the place that did it. This is the place that got it started. And I was just like mind blown. And as it is cooking, as I ordered it, and it's cooking, I'm scrolling on Facebook and stuff like that, as you do, and I learned that a friend of mine passed away. And this guy's like 10 years younger than me, and I have no idea why it happened. And this guy's like a brother to me. We lived together for a long time. His family helped me out through excruciating times of my life. And the fact that he was gone just hit me. I mean, as it does when you lose someone who's close to you. Stephen, like I said, we lived together for a while. We were very close, and on late night insomnia road trips, which we both dealt with horribly, we'd sit down on the couch in the living room and watch Food Network because it's boring, and we'd fall asleep. And there's that show, Drive-Ins, Diners and Dives, and they went to this place, and this was one of the few places that he and I were like, if we ever get to go somewhere, we're going here. So I found out that a very good friend of mine passed away while I was at a location that the two of us said we wanted to go to together. And that just meant a lot to me. I stopped and I ate on camera and did a stupid little review for it and stuff like that because that's what I do. But like the whole time, I'm just like, how do I even process the information that I have right now? And I was filled with, do I turn around and go home? Does that make sense? And I sat there for a while. I called and I talked to Lore, let her know what was going on. I sent a few messages over to his family and stuff like that, and just kind of let it sink in. Cried a lot, but ultimately decided that like there's nothing I can do. Me not doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now isn't going to do anything. And I think he would literally be just pissed at me if I came back. But I kept going. Basically, kept going. I drove through amazing open areas. I stopped at roadside attractions and things like that. And took it as this is my time to experience whatever emotions I was going to go through. And I did. I did just that. I let myself feel what I was going to feel. I kept going. On the way there, I did stop off at the Grand Canyon, which was amazing. I got there right after dawn because I've got this whole like if I'm awake I'm going to be driving thing because like what else am I going to do? So I woke up. I woke up right after dawn. I went straight to the canyon and I hung out there before anybody else got there. I think there was like a small handful of tourists who were enjoying like a hike and like breakfast and stuff like that at the canyon itself. But the vastness of it, I have never seen this in person. I live in Florida. If you see a hill there, someone put it there. It does not belong. We have a flat surface area. Not to mention, I just got done driving through Oklahoma, which is, again, iron pressed. There is nothing there but windmills and barns and open land as far as the eye can see, and tornadoes that are going to pick it up and throw it at you. It was so freaking glorious, and I could only stay for a couple of hours if I was going to stay on time, because by that time I had dilly-dallied to the point where if I did not keep going to LA, I was going to just be late, which was not something that I wanted to do. So I hop in the car and I drive straight through the Mojave Desert, which 4 hours. 4 hours to get through the Mojave Desert. Nothing but white is as far as you can see. It reflects at you. Eventually, I got to California, which I'm not even going to get on my complaints about driving in that place. But I got to where I was heading, which was the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles, California, where I'm so happy to have met up with. And I guess I should probably just use. I should just use Discord names and handles and stuff like that. But I got a hold of Poison Lily, which is my editor. Thank you very, very much for that. As well as a group of people who were involved in the faction for Darkness Emergent, the digital collective. That is who I had the honor of crashing with. Um, and this is where things kind of turned back on the Steven thing again, my friend who I lost. I'm sitting there walking around this hotel I've never been in my entire life, and I've just got this like nostalgia hit. And I'm like, why? Why is this a thing? And I'm walking around and I'm in the hallway. I'm like, why is this hallway so damn familiar? I've never been here before. This is just weird. And I'm with Poison Lily. I don't know if she wants me to say her name on camera or not, so I'm just going to go with her handle. And I'm like, okay, have you ever been here before? She says no. Does this seem familiar to you? She said yes. We're walking down the hallway, and I just stop and I go, he's looking at me, Ray. I think he can hear you, Ray. And it just popped into my head. We were in a hotel that they filmed the scene towards the beginning of Ghostbusters where they went after and caught Slimer. And I was like, holy crap. Steven was a member of the Lee County Ghost Corps, which is it's a cosplay group that is all over the place. From what I understand, it's countrywide, or it's throughout the entire states, where people dress up like Ghostbusters. They have Ecto One. They go to parties and stuff like that. They're an awesome cosplay group, amazing people, and I'm like, he would be so thrilled to be here right now. Now, I know that Ghostbusters takes place in New York, but the hotel scene was filmed there in LA, at that hotel, as well as a bunch of other movies. As we were walking around, we were seeing like we're seeing still frames from all the different movies and stuff that had been filmed in the Biltmore Hotel. So it was amazing to be there. In fact, the room where we did most of the things, the opening ceremonies, the Giovanni dinner that I hosted, which I'll talk about in a minute, the closing ceremonies, the Succubus Club, like all of the big stuff was the Gold Room, which is where they captured Slimer, where he's like flying around the chandelier and stuff like that, where they're actually like shooting the proton packs at him and stuff like that. I was just in nerd heaven because of the nostalgia and because of the connection that me and my friend shared over the love of that franchise and being in that room. I was so happy to be there, and I felt like he was there with me the entire time. So, that. Rooming situation. Let's just talk about that. I had the absolute best roommates. I gotta say that right now. The people from the Digital Collective, who are actually part of a LARP group, set in I think Central Illinois. I'm really really bad at remembering all of the things when it comes to that, especially since I'm just kind of like blah whatever I can think, and it's been so long. I'm filming this on June 24th, almost a month after everything went down, because this is the first time I've had a chance to actually sit and do this. And as it is, I'm squeezing this chance out because I really don't have time right now to do this. But oh my god, the rooming situation was amazing. The people that I roomed with, I'm so glad to have just be able to like officially add them to my friends list. Like most of them I've had interactions with through Darkness Emergent. Two of them are actually the people who grabbed me in San Antonio and forced me in front of the Prince and the Justicar and stuff, and like, was this you, and stuff like that, and caught my content and named me as a masquerade breacher. Then I met Poison Lily, my editor, in Chicago, and we hit it off. We both play Zemitzi and stuff like that, and we just became friends really, really quick. And then they had another person who was with us, and she's just the sweetest person. I'm so happy to just add these people to my friend group, and I don't know, it made everything feel more at home, having people that I got along with and cared about and stuff like that. It was just a very, very nice experience. Um, so gameplay. Let's talk about that. I over the last few months have been working with Miss Magitech, as well as Jimmy Reckett, the big storytelling lead for Darkness Emergent, to throw together a one-shot Nordic LARP experience for the Hikata reunion. The Giovanni family dinner is what it was noted as, but what it really was the family reunion. Half the players got to play Hikata, or half the players got to play Cappadocians and Cappadocian affiliated bloodlines, and the other half got to play Giovanni and Giovanni affiliated bloodlines. I took on the role of Andreas Giovanni, who is the capo de capo of the States. You can find him in the 4th installment of the Giovanni Chronicles. I don't know if he shows up any earlier than that, but he is just a slimy guy. He is just like classic Giovanni. And Miss Magitech played Mariana Giovanni, who is the child of Claudius Giovanni, created in the 1st installment of the Giovanni Chronicles. So she was technically a Giovanni, but before the Giovanni Purge, so she was technically a Cappadocian. She was running all that. We had so much fun. I have always had my misgivings when it comes to Nordic LARP, specifically with Vampire the Masquerade, World of Darkness in general, because everybody has their own goals. Everybody has their own intentions when they play these games. This event, this Giovanni thing, completely proved me wrong, and I am so happy to say that, because we had so much fun being in character. Also, I want to hand it to the staff at the Biltmore, who provided the amazing Italian-style dinner that we had. Oh my god. It wasn't spaghetti and meatballs or anything like that. It was like a classical, beautiful dinner. Not to mention the table service with champagne and wine and coffee and just all of that stuff. We had an amazing experience as far as food goes.
We are prepping for the Giovanni family reunion dinner, which is going to be hosted by myself, Voivode Maquette, as well as the amazingly talented Miss Magitech. We are going to be serving actual food in this amazing, beautiful Biltmore Hotel. They have done so much work to make sure that this is going very well, and I am looking forward to digging into all of this.
As far as the role play goes, oh my god. So Miss Magitech, Tracy, she takes the Cappadocians off to one side, I take the Giovanni off to the other side, and we're both basically bad-mouthing each other to our groups and talking about how, like, what this is, explaining it all, getting in character, and the players were just so perfect. I had so much fun. One of the players decided that their character's goal was to find a Giovanni husband. They were playing a milliner. Her mother was a Giovanni. Her father was a milliner. So she basically just felt like she got screwed out of the proper family name. So the only reason she was hunting for a husband was to correct that mistake. And I guess she decided that because I was playing the character who was the most powerful Giovanni, I was the target. The whole night, she is just pursuing me relentlessly. She slid a ring towards me. She was coming at me this whole time. As I got up to talk to other people, I heard her and another milliner who is a lawyer talking about prenubs. I was just like, what is happening? This whole other dimension of this story is just going off. One of the players also, when the three of us, Jimmy, Tracy, and I, sat down to discuss how the story was going to go and the division between the players, one of the players had said, "Can I play a Giovanni? Or can I play a ghoul?" And we were just like, "Oh, this whole thing is meant to be vampires dealing with this situation. How do we handle this with a ghoul? Do we just tell him no?" But I have this need, and I'm really glad that Tracy and Jimmy, like, we all had the same mentality on it. We discussed our options for it, but the yes and the no but is very, very important as far as storytelling, especially in a Nordic LARP setting. We went ahead and let him play a ghoul, but he was a Giovanni ghoul, and his personal story ended up being so interactive and so important with everything that was going on. Um, we ended up having some like little mini games and stuff like match this to this and solving these riddles and all that. But it really was the interaction between the players. The Lamia. We had several Lamia players who had all just like formed this tight knit group family. We had an agreement that the Giovanni Ghoul would be embraced by one of the Cappadocian bloodlines, creating the first true pure Hecata. And while the embrace was happening, I just went up to that milliner and said, "You want my name? I need your money. Marry me." The most romantic proposal. It was a business arrangement, 100%. But we had so much fun, and the fact that we didn't have real rules or anything for the disciplines to work. Like, we had a set of, if something needs to happen, these are the responses as far as discipline goes. But the whole night was so flawless without a single test or anything needing to be thrown, because we were playing, like I said, Nordic LARP, which is a things happen and you have to discuss it, and you have to have an understanding and an agreement between participants. It was amazing. After the event of the Giovanni dinner was the World of Darkness trivia night and karaoke, which I sadly did not attend. I was so stoked and excited and amped up after the Giovanni. It was so much fun. And then I made the mistake of going back to my room and sitting down. I had to bring all the stuff that I had brought to the game back to my room. I wanted to change out of the clothes that I was wearing as Andreas, and I wanted to participate in karaoke and stuff with my buddies, because Silent was there too. Silent was singing. I missed it. I missed Silent Comedy singing. I'm very upset about that. But not to mention, like, I think it was Xander, Genre, and Cynthia Marie who were hosting the trivia night. I really wanted to attend it, but I got upstairs to my room, I put my stuff down, and I was about to change, and I sat down, and my roommates were all up there too, and we just ended up talking throughout the night and passing out. And so I unfortunately missed it, and I did not get to participate in that adventure. So we also had a Meet the Court role-playing experience, and this is something that not all the players get to, go to. It's just higher level tickets. But it was a chance for us to get to meet Victor Temple, being played by B. Dave Walters. We got to meet Nellie G, being played by Cynthia Marie, and the surprise guest appearance of, at least in character, the surprise appearance of X, being played by Xander Jeanneret, who had been still underwater for like over 3 years after the end of LA by Night.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm filming.
Oh, I don't like
What the hell?
X, wait. What?
Where the fuck have you been?
Hold on, look, you can't answer anything. Jasper sent this to me. What?
Wait, you're giving him shots? What?
What?
Shot!
Everybody! On Earth. Where?
That tastes like ass! Hey! X! Hi! Wait, look at you out of this thing. Come on, come out. It's not gonna hurt you. Why are you wet?
It was so cool to see him there, and the role play experience that we got with all of them was amazing. I got hooked up into a plot line and everything that was just insanity, that involved like disappearing members of the Anarch community. I had so much fun. I accidentally got named a Baron by Baron Temple. He, for some reason, thought I was a Baron, and I didn't correct him. Next thing I know is people are starting to call me Baron, and I'm just like, that's effectively how becoming a Baron works, is people start calling you Baron, isn't it? So I was given 2 Baronships, one where my character is from, which is Fort Myers, Florida, which ties into my home game, which is hilarious. But also some waterways, which started off as a joke, and then we realized that as an Iron Horseman, the faction that my character belongs to, it makes a lot of sense for the riverways, the waterways, to be accessible. So I took that barony of the waterways and ran with it. So I had a lot of really fun time doing some one-on-one play with B Dave, and playing along with Xander, and oh my god, Nellie. Holy crap. Cynthia Marie and I had such an interesting interaction. I'm sorry, I don't have this in this coherent, like, night 1, night 2, night 3 description or anything like that, but the storyline. So I had managed to make it so that I could get a one-on-one time with Nellie. I had some stuff that I wanted to talk to her about, a plot line that I was involved in, and it was detrimental that I get to speak to her. And I don't know if anybody saw what I was wearing. I was putting pictures and videos up and everything. I got this really cool biker cut leather jacket, and I got like Anarch and vampire patches and stuff all over it. I still have more that I want to do to it, but unfortunately that in character is on hold for a little bit. Kind of sucks. I went through some stuff. I'll get to it. But Nellie G refused to talk to anybody wearing leather. Of course, the first thing out of my smart-ass mouth is, well, I think you're in the wrong freaking sect. You can't be an Anarch and refuse to talk to people in leather. Most of us are wearing leather jackets. That's just the dress code at this point. So I had to keep taking my jacket off and put it back on, and taking it off and putting it back on every time she would actually agree to see me. She said that she was very happy with my dedication to the character's frustration while that was happening. I had a lot of fun playing with Cynthia. Oh my god, it's so much fun. There was a lot. Oh my god. Oh god. There was one thing that I do want to talk about, and that is losing humanity in character during one of these events. I can lose a character. My character can die, and I'll be upset, and I'll move on. That's fine. that happens. Losing humanity as a character, when you take it as seriously as I do, was hard. I lost humanity because of a plot line that I was involved with B Dave in. Victor Temple caused my character, caused Maquette, to lose humanity. This was the first time I've lost humanity ever playing this character. And it put me in this like whole introspective thing. Basically what had happened is there was somebody who was snooping around the area. I caught them. We thought he was involved in an assassination attempt. He was involved in a petty theft thing. It was stupid. And someone got killed because of it. I took on the stress and the guilt because it was technically my fault that got them killed. If you look past the fact that they were the ones who were being stupid and stealing things, I'm the one who pursued them. Because of how upset I was in character about it, I ended up taking a stain. And I had to I had to do the stain test, and I failed outright. I think I threw paper, my storyteller, BJ, threw scissors, and I didn't know what to do with that. What does it mean to become just that much more selfish, to become that much more of a vampire? And it happened right at the end of the night. So I didn't know if I would have the chance to feel it out in character, knowing what it was. But after that night's event was the Succubus Club, which was, oh my god, insane. I have never danced that hard in my life. I don't typically do that kind of thing, but like, I lost humanity, and I'm at the Succubus Club, and I just danced my cares away. Because you're supposed to, when you lose humanity, it proves that you didn't care what happened, that you wrote it off as a necessary means to an end. And I went ahead and lost myself in being surrounded by my fellow horsemen, dancing, drinking, and just enjoying the night, which I was in a trance. The music was pumping, the lights, the people around me, everyone dancing was just incredible. This is after we had a night also where we went to after the meet the authorities night. We went to the Seraphim Club, which was amazing. And I don't know, a lot of these things, the Seraphim Club, the Succubus Club, which I actually got a Succubus Club cube, and I haven't worked it into my wall yet. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to work it in over there next to the torch from the Giovanni dinner. Um, but yeah, the Club Seraphim, the Succubus Club, Club Maharani, that we went to, which is Victor Temple's club. All of those were meant to be just soft RP, where you could either be in character or not in character, just enjoy. I didn't break character any chance that I got. If I was able to be in character, I wanted to be in character. That was amazing. Not to mention, I'm playing myself, and I'm at this point in time, specifically at the Succubus Club. Um, I was trying to figure out what exactly it means to me to lose humanity. But it wasn't really a concern that I had to have long, because on the final night of the event, um, there was so much going on. I found out that there was a calling for the Anarchs to turn me over, which was basically rounding up the storyline that I kind of started. I I'll take responsibility for some of this, but not all of it was me. I want to point that out, because I was approached by the Digital Collective, the players, on whether or not the online stuff was me. And it is, and a lot of it was in character stuff. Online, Maquette, my personality for Maquette, I run Vampire the Masquerade stuff. In uh in game related stuff though, I run Vampire the Hidden for Black Dog Game Factories in the World of Shadows. I've actually considered doing a a playlist of like in character stuff from back before my character was embraced up until what I'm about to tell you. But apparently they were calling for me. We were also involved in this massive fight between a group called the Golden Cobras or something. Like it was a basically it was a rival anarch group that was trying to be like the Iron Horsemen, but we pissed them off big time in Vegas. But now we were on their territory. But between that and everything else, I started embracing my mentality of play to lose and putting myself in more and more dangerous situations when I found out the Camarilla had pretty much turncoated on me after giving me status for what I was doing and basically having the permission to keep doing it. They were basically just ramping up my breach of the masquerade list so that they could throw it all at me at once and just have my head. Unfortunately, we never got to see what was going to happen. From what I understand, the Digital Collective stood up for me. Some members of the ministry stood up for me. The Iron Horsemen stood up for me. There was a lot of support for Maquette during this I don't know this hung jury trial thing that was happening. This circus court. I got called in by a bunch of the Zamitzi to help with a situation where something had to be retrieved. And while I was there, one of the Zamitzi, who I feel like I bonded with, specifically in Vegas, was getting attacked by a Ventru NPC with a phosphorus gun. He was taking shot after shot, and he was about to just lose the character when during the combat I ran in and got him off of my ally. I was sure that I'd be able to take him. Everything ended with Mercy, Poison Lily, the editor for our World of Darkness. Everything ended with Poison Lily's character, Mercy, scraping my ashes off the ground. So that happened. When everything was said and done, I was like, I still have the whole night. This happened pretty early on in the night. So what I ended up doing is going up to my hotel room, hopping in the shower really quick, changing my clothes, shaving, which is why I've got kind of like lighter going on here. It's growing back, but I'd shaved this completely just to differentiate what I look like from one character to the next. And I had already had it approved by By Night Studios because I knew someone was out to get me. But I had another character on backup just because I didn't know when somebody was going to come at me. It was like every Darkness Emergent that I had attended since the very first, I've attended all of them. I've had somebody who's a lot more powerful than me after me, which was completely fine, completely consensual. I wanted the drama. I wanted that kind of thing, but like I had mages after me for the first couple of Darkness Emergence, and the Camarilla has been plotting at me this entire time. We had contingency plans. At one point in time, we thought that one of the other horsemen, Nomad, was going to be blackmailed into murdering me by the Camarilla. We thought that was going to happen. So as a Zamitzi, what I actually ended up doing was putting in a second heart in there so that when he was called on, when Nomad was called on to murder me, he could just reach in, grab the fake heart, pull it out, and then I was going to use vicissitude to just kind of like mummify myself, Hag's wrinkles kind of thing, and collapse dead, and then they were going to carry me out, and that was going to be it, and I would have a escape, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen that way, which is, I love being kept on my feet. I'm not complaining about this at all. I had so much fun. So I changed characters. And I came back downstairs and I got to reintroduce myself again to pretty much everybody as Abraham Charles Myers, the Toreador Prince of Fort Myers, Florida. So my NPC Prince that I play in the LARP that I run on the first Saturday of every month is now my Darkness Emergent character. So the LARP that I run is already deeply interconnected with Darkness Emergent anyway. And I had always said that my character was going to these things. He was just kind of in the background. Didn't interact with anybody. Like nothing overtly, like nothing that would have caused too much trouble. Because I wanted to be able to come back and give people information and stuff like that in my game, which has worked out phenomenally. But yeah, that sucked. But it's supposed to. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. And that actually might be one of the reasons why I didn't quite enjoy the Maharani as much as I enjoyed the Succubus Club, because I got to be Maquette and experiencing that sense of loss. But losing your character is a hell of a lot easier, in my opinion at least, than losing humanity when you're playing a character a specific way. I got to attend the Vampires in Vino, which was a lot of fun. I raised my hand to ask a question, and Jason Carl said, "No, not you. You don't play fair." That was a lot of fun. Leaving is always hard. The end of Darkness Emergent is always a difficult thing. None of us are wanting to wait too long for the next session, which is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm massively excited about that. The potential for Atlanta, Georgia hosting a Darkness Emergent is off the chart because of so many amazing things happen there. The fall of Atlanta, the start of the Sabbat wave of violence that went up the east coast of the U.S. in 1999, the week of nightmares, everything started in Georgia. Everything started in Georgia, and I'm so excited to be there. I've been to Atlanta one other time, and while I was there, I went to the High Museum of Art, and I did my little Attenborough-style history report, basically, online. It's on the channel somewhere. But it was just, it was so amazing. The fact that I get to be in character there now is just mind-blowing. Can't wait. But it was very hard to say goodbye to the friends, people that I've come to know as my community for World of Darkness stuff. The storytellers did a phenomenal job, as always. The staff for By Night Studios were accommodating and always there to help us out with anything that we needed. I ran a phenomenal tabletop game. God, I don't want to forget about talking about that. I like to take parts of Vampire the Masquerade, parts of the World of Darkness that don't get enough attention, and turn them into the main aspect of a story for these one-shots. And what I've realized that touchstones don't get as much love as they should. There's such a deep, ingrained meaning. And most of the time, most of the time, players will just see them as a way to fix your willpower or something. At least as far as I am concerned. I have a few players who are just phenomenal, and their touchstones have become fleshed out NPCs, and there's so many important things happening that revolve around them. But like on the greater scale, I've noticed that they do kind of get pushed to the wayside. So we were running a plot line, this tabletop plot line, with amazing players also. These are returning players. Uh, yeah, Carol at Muses Touch, who's a member of the Our World of Darkness community, plays on our Discord, as well as Worlds of Sin. Those two people are from my Discord community, and I love having them there. That was amazing having people that I know and I talk to almost on a daily basis at this foreign place for me because I'd never been here before. And then the other players are returning players from other one shots that I've run. I feel humbled when people decide that they want to spend time with me running these games. It's so much stronger, like when it happens again, like returning people who want who like again, Worlds of Sin and Carol at Muses Touch, they play in games with me multiple times a month. They have me when they want me. I interact with them. I talk with them. The fact that they went out of their way to participate in a one shot with me was just it fills my heart. It really does. It really does make everything so much more special. And the people who return to one shots after playing at Darkness Emergent, it shows me that they value the time that I'm putting into this, and it's almost overwhelming, and I love it. So I had all of them give me at least one fleshed out touchstone, like as much as they can. This was called LA by Night Touchstones. I gave them character creation rules and all that stuff, and I asked them to please flesh out a touchstone, at least one touchstone for me. And most of them filled out 3. Like, they gave me all 3 touchstones, which was not necessary, really, but I highly appreciated it. But the plot line in general was that someone or something was stalking their touchstones, scaring the hell out of them, and they didn't exactly know what to do about it. So, as they're and I plopped them in mid-story. They already have the information that this is happening. They've already been told by the authorities that this is a human problem, that they need to fix it. If they want to fix it, they need to make sure that the masquerade doesn't get breached or anything like that. So they're in character, meeting, trying to figure something out. As their meeting ends, they find out that at least one of their touchstones has been kidnapped, and everything starts to break down. They did so good in the investigation. They did so good in the one-on-one social role play between not only themselves, but also NPCs. It was amazing. We got to the point where the climax was happening. They were going to find out who was kidnapping, what was going on, why was all this happening. And I called for a short break. I was like, why don't you guys get up, go to the bathroom, get a drink, take a walk, stretch your legs, just clear your head for a minute. We'll come back and we'll finish. While they were gone, I had my Vampire the Masquerade Storyteller screen out, which I don't tend to use very often. I don't like storyteller screens. It makes me feel like I'm being separated from the game itself. But this was important. I wanted people to be able to see the vampire screen and experience everything that was going on. I had dice where people could see things and all that. And when they came back, I had switched out to the Hunter the Reckoning storyteller screen. The looks on their faces alone were priceless. So they show up and they're obviously freaking out about the change of scenery and the fact that I now have the Hunter the Reckoning dice out as well. They go in and everything breaks down. This was a near total party kill. And I hate to say that. I don't tend to go after players very often. I like the story to progress organically and to just be an amazing experience of group storytelling. But this time, I had taken the reins. I had changed out the dice, and I had changed out the storyteller screen to the Hunter the Reckoning stuff. When they got in there and started finding their touchstones and realizing that their touchstones were the hunters. Their touchstones had found out that they were Kindred and had just turned against them. which was so much fun because not only did we have like a guy's like business manager and his sister, one of the players was a nun, and all of her touchstones were nuns, and she was the first person to turn anything in for me. So I'm sitting here with character sheets for battle nuns. It was so much fun, and the players handled it so well. They did not win, but they handled the experience so well. They played along with it. They rolled with the punches. They were severely outnumbered by people who were ready for them, which was a problem. I do have to give special props to Carol at Muse's Touch because she is the only one who officially survived. She had gotten into a fight with another player character, and there was a soaring leap thing where she had gotten out of the way. Technically, we don't know what happened at the end of that story. The Anarchs could have been called in by Carol's character and brought in to help handle the situation, but as it is, the player characters probably did not make it out alive. But Vampire is not really a game. World of Darkness in general, it's not a game setting to win. It's a game setting of survival, mentally, physically, socially. It's just how long can you survive is really a thing. But anyway, I had so much fun with it, and I don't know. I think I'm highly considering making the next Focus Ghouls. Maybe the players can play the ghouls. Maybe it's the characters' ghouls. I haven't really decided yet, but I'm thinking the next one is gonna be ghouls. We'll have to see. Darkness Emergent was amazing. Um, I did get to spend some time with some friends afterwards. Carol, again, DJ, who's also a community member, as well as Aaron, who's one of the storytellers at Darkness Emergent. We're friends. Aaron and I live pretty close to each other. I talk to DJ and Carol constantly on our Discord, and we run character stuff together. So it was nice to have some one-on-one time with them. Because I always feel horrible because I can't devote that much time at these events to the people I want to spend time with, because as much fun as I'm having, I'm still at work, you know. And I love it, but there's always stuff I have to do. If I'm in character, I'm in character. If I'm not in character, I'm probably trying to network with somebody or something like that, or meet new people that I could add to the community and things like that, because that it really is the growth of this that allows me to continue doing what I'm doing right now. But we got to hang out, and we drove around for a little while. We went to the Griffith Observatory, which unfortunately was closed, so we couldn't go in, but we got to walk around the outside of it, and we walked up a damn mountain, because whenever I'm with Aaron, that's what we do, apparently. Um, Great times. I'm so tired, especially after the Succubus Club. I was still in recovery. But it was an amazing time, and then we decided to do what geeks do, and we went to a game shop. We found this amazing little game shop. And not only did we find this amazing little game shop, it's connected to Critical Role. So we got to see some amazing stuff. The decor that they had in this place, there was like a full TARDIS and like movie memorabilia to places. They had game rooms set up that was like, here's a dungeon, here's a mystical forest, here's here's the Shire. Like it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was well put together. It was inspiring. Then I had to drop them off at the airport, which was sad. Aaron, like I said, lives in, not too far from me. So like when we went to Chicago, I drove him back. We drove there together. We drove back, but like with everything that was going on, the fact that I still had to go back through and pick up Daviga, it wasn't going to work out properly. But on the way home, the day after, I got to the Grand Canyon again, and this time I spent almost the whole day. I got there pretty early in the morning. Um, I got to sit through like the tourist movies and stuff that they play and walk around and experience it. Probably one of the biggest highlights is I love Darkness Emergent, but like being able to travel the way that I have, which I know I won't be able to do it that way every time, but being able to, I literally drove from one side of the US to the other and back. And it was just incredible. I got to eat at restaurants that I've always wanted to go to. I got to see things that I've never seen in my life. I've never actually been in a desert before. I got to be in a desert. I don't see mountains in Florida. My breath is taken away every time I see them. The Grand Canyon in spots is 18 miles wide. The place is massive. And if I had not been in a hurry, they have various things that you can do. You can get a helicopter. You can be flown around in a helicopter to see things. You can also get squirrel suits and skydive into the Grand Canyon if you want to. I almost signed up for that. Um, I was unfortunately in a hurry, which really, really sucks. I do not like being in a hurry. I like to check things out. But I had highly considered if I was able to wait basically another day at the Grand Canyon, I would have signed up for the whole like let's put on the squirrel suit and fly. Like that's just ha. It would have been terrifying and amazing, and I would have done it. It would have been great. On the way home, as I was passing through Oklahoma, I'm so glad I had Daviga when this happened. Oh my God. We had stopped at a hotel to sleep, obviously. And I woke up feeling like I was going to die. I woke up in some of the most pain I've ever been in my entire life, feeling like somebody was trying to rip something out of me. And I did not realize how right I was on that. I don't typically ask people to do things for me. Ah, Daviga drove me to the ER in Oklahoma, um, where I don't know. You go to a hospital and always like you tell them exactly what you're experiencing, and they always just look at you, go, mm-hmm, yeah, we'll get to you when we can. I don't. At least that's my experience. A lot of people are just like, oh, like there's no way it hurts as bad as you say that it is. It does. And then I got an MRI, and they looked at what exactly was going on, and they went, oh, it does hurt as bad as you're saying. You're not overreacting. Apparently, I had a kidney stone. And it had shook itself loose. I think it's all the dancing at the Succubus Club. Makes sense. So, um, they pumped me full of painkillers, so Daviga got to drive a good portion of the way home. Um, and and then I mean, after that, I mean, it was a very long drive home. But I got home safe and sound. Lore is here. My kid Sam is here. It was right around my birthday when I got back. Also, I am now the incredible 40. Am I 42? I'm either 41 or 42. I don't remember. It's one of it's one of them. I was born in 80. I was born in 1983. I'm not bothered. I can't be bothered to check. Um, at this point, I'm getting older. That's all that matters. Um, but Laura had gone out of her way to set up a like a birthday party of the gamers of the LARP. So like the LARPers all came to my house, and we had amazing food and hung out and talked, and just a great time all the way around. My dog ended up going to the ER as well. He's fine. He's fine. He rolled off the bed and landed wrong, and his yelp made me go, oh God, he needs to go to the ER, and he's absolutely fine. My bank account's not. Not after all of this going on. But, I don't know. It's been an amazing time. Darkness Emergent is. I want to go to all of these. I desperately want to go to all of these. While they're happening, I want to go. There's the Georgia one that's coming up. After Georgia, from what I understand, we're going back to LA. Hopefully, I trust airplanes a little bit more and I can fly and not drive back and forth. Although that was amazing and probably one of the biggest highlights. I can't take this much time out of my life to not like run my games on Discord and not basically be working and just drive. I need to be able to work. But I want to go to all of them. I want to keep telling my stories. I want to be involved. Um, there's a lot going on, and I understand that Darkness Emergent is not the most important thing that's going on in the world right now. But we all need our escapism from time to time. And I have so much fun, and I encourage anybody who wants to go, who can, to go to these things. We are so dedicated to making it so that new people feel comfortable. We are dedicated to having people understand the consent of role play and what exactly that means. I'm probably going to end up doing more of these. Not solo. Silent and I want to get together and talk at some point in time if we can ever get our schedules to match. Because anytime I get to spend seriously with my brother in the world of darkness silent comedy, I am just so happy. It's always amazing to be able to spend time with the people in this community like this. But anyway, that's really all I have to say. Thank you for listening to my dead talk. Um, I am Voivode Maquette. This is Our World of Darkness and Darkness Emergent LA 2025. It was bigger and better than every event for Darkness Emergent, which has always been bigger and better than the last. So much fun, so much to do. And it just always leaves you wanting more. So, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.